going through the slideshow, do I need to just put
On there,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
If you just click the mouse on there. Thank you. Yes, please sign that and then you can pass it to.
Okay.
Yep, perfect. Thank you so much.
So first, I just want to thank everyone for coming here and for supporting me and listening to me talk about my portfolio and my experiences at Ferris and everything in between. So I'll go ahead and get started. So first, I wanted to include my major supports that I've had throughout my time here at Ferris. So I included some pictures as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting, so you're not just looking at words on a PowerPoint. So this is my dog Molly. I've had her for about 3 years now, and she is just awesome. I love her, and even though she's a dog, she's just such a big support for me too emotionally. And this is me and my best friend Justin. He's sitting right here. I met Justin the first day that I was here at Ferris. He was the first person I met at Ferris and the first person I met in the social work program. We were both in 110 together, and we were paired up for a scavenger hunt around Ferris, and it kind of just, it went from there, and we've been best friends ever since. We've been through literally everything together. We've been in all the same classes pretty much. We've both had so many mental breakdowns in the quad together before classes, and impulsive shopping trips in between classes. We went to El Salvador together, which was just amazing. I could not be any more grateful to have had and shared that experience with Justin, because it just made us even closer, and it was such an intimate, emotional experience for those 2 weeks, and being able to share that with him was just really, really important to me and very special. So thank you, Justin, for being here and for supporting me always. This is me and my fiance, Cody. He's here too. Oh, I can't thank Cody enough for just everything. We've been together for almost 7 years now. So he's literally been here through all of it, before I even started college, and he's supported me in any way that I needed. He's just been there for me, and I feel like I really can't put into words how grateful I am for you and for supporting me and for always wanting the best for me and pushing me, because even when I felt like I couldn't do it, you knew that I could and you believed in me, and having that support of knowing that other people believed in me helped me a lot, so thank you. And then I have my mom and dad. They couldn't be here today, which is why we're recording this right now, but my mom and dad have always been so supportive of me and just so encouraging to go out and do the things that I wanted to do, which includes a social work program. My mom always said from when I was a young age, she always knew that I was going to go into some helping profession, because I was always just talking to people and trying to solve other people's problems, I guess. And they've just been such a great support from the time that I left home, and now and forever they're going to be my supports, and they just put such a big smile on my face, and I love them so much. So even though they couldn't be here with me today, I know that they're still here with me. And then all of my siblings. This is my sibling Candy, Christina, that's me, my sister Nikki, my brother Casper, my other brother Casey, and then my other brother Sam. They're awesome. I don't get to see all of them at the same time very often, but we were able to get together for Thanksgiving, and I just have so much fun with them, and they just all put laughs on my face and just smiles, and they're great. They're awesome. I didn't include pictures because I didn't have enough space, but I also wanted to recognize the people that aren't here with me today. My sister Diane, and all of my grandparents, and my other dog Samson, who passed away a couple years ago. Even though they're not here with me physically, I know that they're up there and they're rooting for me, and they're always looking out for me. And then my professors, I wanted to thank Mike. Mike's also one of the first professors I think I met at Ferris, so when I was 19, and yeah, we got, yeah, Yeah. And I met Mike because we were talking about the El Salvador trip, and I really wanted to go a couple years ago, but I couldn't make it happen, unfortunately. But then I got to go this past summer, and it was just amazing. And you were just so awesome, Mike. I had such a good time with you. Yeah, and you also helped. I was in a program called Promesa Scholars with Center for Latino Studies, and he helped out a little bit too when I went to a research conference that I'll talk about later. But yeah, you've just always been super loving and kind and encouraging to me. You've picked me up a lot of times when I fell, literally, in El Salvador. When we were hiking, I fell twice, and he helped pick me up. So thank you, Mike. And then my other professor, he's not here today, but Peter Hector. He's my advisor, and he's been my professor since I've been here, and he's always been a really big support to me, and just always been there for me and believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. So I want to thank him. And then Dana, I haven't known you for that long, but I just want to say that I really appreciate all your support, and even though I've only known you for maybe 6 months, you've always been very kind and encouraging. And you made this whole process of, the portfolio actually really enjoyable, and helped me celebrate this and help me look at things on a more positive note. And also just encouraging self-care and taking care of myself. And so I want to thank you for that and always being supportive, even though it hasn't been that long. So I just want to thank you for that too. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my portfolio first. Basically what it is, explaining the process of how I got from starting it to ending it. So basically my portfolio, it's being passed around right now. It's a huge compilation of pretty much all the documents, assignments, activities, projects, and other work that I've completed in my social work courses, as well as some other courses. And so there's a lot of them in there, and they all demonstrate my competencies, which I'll talk about in a second, that are required for us to graduate from the social work program. And those are defined by the NASW Code of Ethics, which is the Code of Ethics for social workers. And so my assignments are in there, and I have a lot of rationales, what we call them, for each document that explain what the assignment is, why I chose it, and why it demonstrates my competency in each category, and I relate it back to the NASW Code of Ethics as well. So we have 10 competencies that we need to demonstrate that we're competent in, so that we can show that we're ready to graduate and that we're ready to practice in the field as professionals. So the 10 are to demonstrate ethical and professional behavior, engage in diversity and difference in practice, advance human rights and social, economic, and environmental justice, engaging in practice-informed research and research-informed practice, engaging in policy practice, engaging with individuals, families, groups, and organizations, communities, as well as assessing, intervening, and evaluating with individuals, families, and groups, organizations, and communities. And for the last competency, we had to demonstrate our knowledge in some liberal arts categories because they all tie in together with social work. So we went through communication competence, which is obviously very important in the social work field because our voice is very important. We do a lot of our work through our voice. Lifelong learning and organizational skills, quantitative skills, reasoning abilities, scientific understanding, social awareness, global consciousness, and cultural enrichments. So all of these assignments and projects that I mentioned in my portfolio will demonstrate these 10 competencies to show that I'm ready to move on to work as a professional in the field while doing it ethically as well. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my time at Ferris State University. I started summer of 2017, and I'm graduating this weekend actually. So I chose social work specifically. Before I even chose Ferris, I had talked to a lot of social workers and had my own experiences personal and professionally with social workers, and I always just felt like that's what I want to do. I like what they're doing, I like why they're doing it, and the purpose just behind it, and I knew that's how I wanted to contribute my time to the world, was with helping other people. I didn't know exactly how I was going to do that yet, but I knew that I wanted to do it through social work. So some of the things that I've done since the beginning, I don't have all of them included, but from 2017 to 2018, I was a community chair for the Social Work Association for Ferris. So I handled a lot of the volunteer opportunities, volunteer hours, and I also helped write a couple grants and just help with the community of the Social Work Association and bring together opportunities for new students and students that have been here in the social work program to also build our networking and our connections that we have with other people. And my freshman year, I also completed an 120-hour internship with Newaygo County Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect. So I had a really fun role there. I had the chance to be a summer counselor there for a camp for at-risk youth. So I did that all summer long, and it was really fun. We got to do a lot of different activities to help them learn different activities of daily living, like cooking and like how to change a tire. A lot of skills that they'll need for independent living skills as they age out of the system. Some of them were in foster care as well. And we also got to do fun activities like field trips so that they could learn, how to collaborate with other people, how to build relationships, how to build healthy boundaries. So it was really just a nice community that we had, and just a safe way for kids to spend their time during the summer. And it was also a really good learning environment for them as well. And then, so the past semester, two semesters, I also spent my time doing a 480-hour internship with DHHS for Newaygo County, and I was placed in the Children's Protective Services Department. This has definitely been a ride. It's been a very difficult internship, just given the nature of Children's Protective Services. But I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to do this, because I really feel like I've been exposed to everything. I've seen so much, I've learned so much, and I've got to do, practice a lot of the skills and use the knowledge that I've learned in my internship and also independently. So I feel like I have a lot of experience doing the hands-on work, and I feel prepared for future work that I'm going to do. And I've made a lot of connections, and I've collaborated with a lot of people for different projects and different assignments. I also got to do some work with the MYOI coordinator for their yearly meeting, and we did a field trip. And so that was really nice to see how DHHS is incorporated in the community outside of foster care and CPS, because there's a lot of other departments in DHHS that help in the community as well. So the past 3 years I've also attended LEAD, which is Legislative Education Advocacy Day in Lansing. I'm pretty sure me and Justin have attended all 3 of them together. It's a really fun day. We get to, hear the keynote speakers talk about different social issues, political issues, and there's lots of other, events throughout the day that you can go and learn about. So like this year I learned about Healthy Michigan and healthy eating and how to promote that in practice. So those are super fun, and it's a good day to also meet other social work students, other professionals, and just make more connections and build that networking that we have. I also was a Promesa Scholar for Center for Latino Studies from 2017 to 2018. I got to do a lot of different cool things here, build my connections in the Latino community. I was able to attend a research conference, which I did on the Hispanic community in relation to diabetes type 2. And I collaborated with another student from the public health department. So that was a lot of fun, and we actually did end up winning Ferris State University top poster board, and I got a small scholarship from that. So I was really grateful for that, and it was a really great experience. I feel like it really exposed me to my love for research, which I didn't think I had at all, but I found that really interesting and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun being able to present to other people. It was kind of nerve-wracking, but it was exciting and I really liked doing that. I also participated in a community intervention in Grand Rapids for Heartside. I did that with Justin as well too, and a few other students, and we incorporated an intervention for an art drive to help fund their art program there. I was also a mentor at a local elementary school here in Big Rapids in 2018 for a semester. And then I also participated in a group facilitation project at the local elementary school this past year. We worked a lot on teaching boundaries and appropriate socialization skills and things like that, community skills, because they were in kindergarten, so that whole aspect was new to them. So just teaching them those basic skills and playing games and stuff, that was fun too. And then most recently, I went on my International Social Work Study Abroad course in El Salvador. Justin and Mike were there too. I kind of already spoke on it, but that was really just a life-changing experience for me. I know a lot of people say that when they study abroad, but I don't think I truly understood it until I went and I experienced the things for myself, especially knowing that I've heard a lot of stories about unfortunate events and situations in other countries, but I really didn't understand it until I was there and I had people in front of me talking to me about it, and I just realized the importance of advocating and being a part of that change. And yeah, it was a really emotional experience. I learned so much, and I really do feel like I have more appreciation for my own life and value of myself and the things that I have, and just history as well. And I realized how much I don't know about a lot of other cultures. So it was just a great eye-opening experience, and being able to learn about their culture, it really inspires me to go out and visit, other countries and learn more about their cultures and their histories, and different things about them. So that was it was a really, really good experience, and I'm very grateful for that. Okay, and then here's some pictures. I included a few of them. So just pictures throughout my social work, career here at Ferris. So this is when I graduated in 2018 with my associates. This is one of our pictures from LEAD. I think that was 2018. And then this picture right here is when I was at the research conference with Center for Latino Studies, and that's the poster board that I presented with another student. And then this is when we went to Hull House, our first year. So that was a lot of fun. We were in Chicago, so that was great. And then I have a picture. This is the last day when we were in El Salvador. We were about to get on the bus and leave, so we took a big group picture. And I really love this picture a lot. Yeah. And then this one was when I was on the Social Work Association e-board and when I was the community chair, so I included that picture as well. So I wanted to talk about my successes and challenges. This was kind of hard for me to put into words just because I feel like with all of my successes came challenges. I don't believe that you can have success without having challenges. So some of my successes include graduating with my associates and now my bachelor's degree with honors. I received some scholarships and awards throughout the past couple of years. This is my 10th consecutive full-time semester of college. I've completed over 600 hours of internship. I was a Social Work Association community chair, PROMESA Scholar graduate. I went to El Salvador, and I recently got accepted into grad school. So those are some of the successes I've had over the past couple of years, and they're huge for me. And all the milestones that I met to get to those successes are very important, but all of those things came with a lot of challenges. So I haven't had any summer breaks since 2016. I don't have a lot of time for leisure and activities. I work full-time, taking full-time credits, and throughout the years, I've definitely had times where I've been feeling overworked and exhausted and stressed and overwhelmed. I've missed a lot of family get-togethers, and I started ignoring self-care, and most importantly, I started to lose a sense of my own identity outside of being a student and a worker, because behind that, there's still me, there's still Taylor, and I'm not just a student and a worker. And I kind of had to learn that the hard way because I just wanted to push through and get it done, which I did. But sometimes I do regret that I didn't take more time for myself and value my time, because as social workers, that's what we're encouraging for our clients. And so I think it's important to do that ourselves too. So like I said, with all these successes came challenges. And there were a lot of times where I didn't think I was gonna make it. But I just I went through and I persevered. And it was hard, but I always had in the back of my mind, like, I know I can do this, and I know I'm gonna get there, and it's really hard right now, but I'm gonna get there one way or another. And I had to make a lot of life adjustments, especially this past couple semesters when I realized I was really just overworking myself, and it was just too much. And that was really hard for me because I was a little stubborn and I wanted, I had a plan, and unfortunately life doesn't always go as planned, and I've learned that flexibility is really important. And just because it didn't go as planned, that didn't mean that I failed. I'm still here. It just happened a little bit differently. I'm trying to lower my expectations with that a little bit, so I don't get disappointed in myself, because like I said, it's not a failure, it's just I got here a little bit differently than I expected, and that's okay too. So I wanted to touch base on that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my research project for 482, which was this semester, the last class I took. I had to do a research project, and I did this at DHHS. The first thing I noticed when I started working for DHHS in White Cloud for Newaygo County, I noticed that there was a very high prevalence of parental methamphetamine abuse, specifically in CPS cases. I noticed that I was going out a lot with investigators a lot. I was working with ongoing workers, with supervisors, and it seemed like for a while almost all the cases involved some type of methamphetamine abuse, whether it dealt with selling or using, distributing, and I really took notice to that because it just seemed very apparent in a lot of cases. And I started talking to workers about that, and I started talking to the supervisors, and they just let me know, like, yeah, this is a problem here. It's almost in every case. And so I wanted to dig deeper into that, and I wanted specifically to have a better understanding of what the effects of parental methamphetamine abuse are to child victims and in child welfare cases. So I did a lot of research on that, and then I went ahead and conducted my own research. So I surveyed all of the Children's Protective Services and foster care services workers, and I'll go to the next page where I have my findings, and all my findings are based off the questions that I asked. So I'll go ahead and skip to that. So my first question, I was just trying to get some information on the workers. So I wanted to look into the years worked in child welfare for each worker, and majority of them had worked there for 5 or 10 years. And like I said, I surveyed all of the staff in the office. And so then I went into asking about the rates of prevalence and methamphetamine abuse in Newaygo County. So this is just outside of CPS cases and foster cases. A lot of the workers, actually, most of them live in Newaygo County. So I just wanted to get their opinion on, how prevalent it is, if it's an issue. And so you can see in this graph right here that a majority of workers rated at 7 or above, which is pretty high. There was only one worker that rated it a 2, so I found that kind of interesting. And then I went on after that question to ask about the prevalence of methamphetamine abuse in assigned child abuse and neglect cases in the last 6 months. So this one was very scattered, and I kind of expected that just because cases are assigned randomly. And so depending on the worker, you might get more cases that involve methamphetamine, and that's kind of by chance. So that was scattered. And so the next question I went into was the likelihood of parental methamphetamine abuse to result in negative consequences to the children victims. And you can see from this graph, all workers rated it a 7 or above, and a majority of the workers rated a 10, which is very high. And then from there, I kind of compiled all the data that I got from that, and I wanted to address what areas in a child's life are negatively affected. So I had a bunch of different options to select that workers have observed or noticed in their own cases. And there's also a spot for any other additional comments. And I did notice that the 2 highest rated areas at 15% were mental health and relationships. And then it was kind of scattered from there. And the lowest rates were 3% for fine motor growth skills and speech and language. And then lastly, I wanted to ask the workers if they believe that the state of Michigan has implemented effective services to address reduced methamphetamine abuse. 62% no, and 23% said unsure, and only 15% said yes. So majority of the office wasn't very confident in the state of Michigan's abilities to address these issues. And then I also asked if they believe the state of Michigan has implemented services and solutions to keep children safe from parental methamphetamine abuse. 46% said that they were unsure, and 31% said no, and only 23% said that they did believe that the state of Michigan has implemented services. Oh, okay. Go to this one, but I just want to touch base on my conclusions and recommendations first. So a lot of the recommendations that I included based off of my own findings and research, as well as recommendations from the workers, included further substance abuse education and treatment programs, accessibility to the substance abuse treatment programs, making services long-term, case management, and prevention workers available for rural counties, because Newaygo County is rural. So there's a lot of services that we don't receive that more urban cities and counties do receive. So just kind of making that a little bit more equal for the access. And then having an Encompass treatment team. A lot of workers identified this as important because they have to outsource different professionals for services, and it can get a little bit messy, specifically with communication and collaborating. So they recommended that they have their own healthcare team per se, with psychiatrists, medication oversight, counseling, drug screenings, just so that the oversight is all together, so there's not the issues with communication, collaboration, just because it's very busy in the office, and sometimes it's hard to be chasing down people for different services, and it makes it easier for the client as well, so they're not having to go place to place for different services. And then a lot of just the issues that were addressed were inadequate prevention services, substance abuse treatment. I talked about clients having to go to different services and the poor communication. And then the legal system is not equipped to address meth-related crimes, so more drug courts are needed. So most of the issues that I dealt with when doing this research project is that each county has different issues per se, and they have different experiences, perceptions. Each worker has their own experience and perceptions, and a lot of counties don't have the same services to recommend or provide for clients. So it's really hard to get an accurate oversight of if this is a problem statewide or if it's just Newaygo County, and how we can, intervene with this, just because it's so scattered throughout the state. So I think it'd be important to get a better oversight of the entire state and see if a lot of the needs that I identified in Newaygo County are statewide, and if they're not, what we can do to get services for Newaygo County. So through this portfolio process, I've learned a lot. I've learned how to manage my stress a lot better. This semester I had a lot of tasks and things that I had to manage: work, internships, school, and some other things in my personal life. And I was kind of forced to learn how to do this because I had no other choice. I don't think I've really done a super great job at managing my stress. I think I've gotten through it, but especially in the past year, I've gotten better at it. And this past semester, it's really kind of been a reminder that I need to take care of myself, and I need to put myself first and value my time, like I said before, because I can't pour from an empty glass. I've learned organizational skills. I think I talked to Dane about that. I'm not very organized, and so I got a lot better at that as well. And I'm definitely going to try to keep doing that because it's made my life a lot easier. Balancing work life with personal life, I kind of talked about that before. Just placing importance on my personal life, because it is just as important as my school life and my work life. And so the other things, I learned that I'm resilient. This entire portfolio process, specifically being able to hold my portfolio and look from the beginning to the end of everything that I've done, everything that I've been through and I've accomplished, it really put into perspective just how far I've came. Because I don't think we really get the chance to do that on a day-to-day basis. But like I said, it being physical in my hand and just being able to see all of it laid out in front of me made me realize how far I've came and what I'm capable of. Because I don't think I give myself enough credit for that, and I don't think I've told myself enough that I'm proud of myself. But I'm going to say it right now, I am proud of myself, and just how far I've come and how much progress I've made, not only just in my educational and work life, but in my personal life too. So this was kind of just a good reminder of everything that I've done. Okay, lessons I've learned that will help me become a professional social worker. So these are just a few things that I've learned. A person being heard is just as important, if not more important, than a person being told. I've learned that through my own experiences, through my internships and in interviewing, that a lot of people, they just want to be heard, they want to be listened to. So even if you don't know the answer, most people really don't even want you to say anything. They just want to know that like you're there, you're present, and that they're being heard. And I think that's just as important, if not more important. My job is not to save or fix others. My job is to give others the resources, services, and support to help in the process of change. When I first came into social work, I kind of had the mindset that I'm going to save people, and that's really not the purpose. I think that also takes away from a client's self-determination to make progress themselves and be motivated in their own process of change. So I've kind of had to step back from that superhero mindset that I'm going to save other people, but I'm going to help other people save themselves. I can't pour from an empty glass. I already mentioned that. I've learned that, like I said, the hard way, and I gotta work on myself too before I can help other people work on themselves. It's okay to not know everything. If I knew everything, there would not be any room to grow. I learned that a lot in my internship this past semester. I wanted to go into my internship kind of, being able to help everyone and say, oh, I know how to do that, before anyone even had to tell me how to do it. I wanted to feel efficient and effective in my work. And I kind of had to humble myself and say I don't know everything, and it's okay to ask for help. Because I noticed myself, workers would say, hey, can you do this? And I'd say yes, and I wouldn't know how to do it, but I'm like, I'm going to figure out how to do it. And so asking for help is okay. and I do not have to understand or have experienced what a person is going through in order to be empathetic. I kind of struggled with this a little bit because I thought I really needed to experience everything to really help a person, but that's not necessarily the case. I can help them, through being empathetic, kind of stepping in their shoes and listening so that I can have a better understanding of what they're going through, because I think we will learn more, the most from our clients, and they know the most about their lives better than anyone else, so. Okay, so this is the last slide. I want to talk a little bit about my future. This is crazy because I've kind of just, in the past 3 years, just felt kind of stagnant, like this is my life. And so it is a bit scary because things are changing for me. And this is all I've known for the past, since I've got out of high school. So a lot of changes are happening. I was recently accepted into Spring Arbor's Master of Social Work program, so I'll start that in February of 2020, and it's a 1-year program. So I'll be doing that. I'll be entering a new internship. I'm not sure exactly where yet, but that's exciting. And I'm interested in working in the field of mental health, specifically with adolescents and young adults, but again, that can change. I'm sure things will change, like I said before. The last part is I really want to focus, for my future. This is a new chapter that's opening up in my life, and I really want to focus on my own growth and healing. And I inserted these 2 pictures. I recently got 2 new tattoos covering past self-harm, and it took a long time for me to feel ready to do that, and I wanted something to represent my growth and healing, and I wanted to look at my body and feel happy. And so I wanted to insert these pictures because I feel this was really important for me, and it's just a good symbol that I can look at to say, I'm constantly growing and I'm healing. And that's what this was for me. I got this done a couple weeks ago, and it just really made me happy, and I think it's a good mindset to put me in, so that I can focus on that for the future, because it's just as important as my education and my work goals and everything else. So in the future, I'm gonna put myself first. That's the last slide. Yep, so I don't know if anyone has questions, but before that, I just want to thank everyone for coming and for supporting me. It's been a long ride, and I'm so grateful for everything, even the bad stuff, because it still brought me here. And this is my journey, and I'm just really happy to be here right now. So I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting me.